like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So here's your review of Raw, week commencing the 2nd of October. I will do SmackDown later in the week. So it starts off with NIA, JAX basically brawling with Shayna. They brawl, and all of a sudden Raquel comes out and they're brawling, and then all of a sudden Mummy, she returns, she's brawling as well. And then basically that all gets itself sorted out. The referees come and stop all the fighting. Then Rhea calls out the whole Judgment Day. Then Rhea calls out Priest for dropping the ball while she was away. And then basically says, then Priest basically says, screw Cody, screw Jay, and screw everybody who's hating on the Judgment Day. That actually rhymes. And then basically he puts attention on Dom because Dom lost his North American Championship. And then he says, Rhea basically says, if you don't beat Trick and get your title back, don't come back home. Then when that said, Jay came out, it's just me, Oos. Jay comes out, says basically Rhea's running things. Rhea's like the female Roman Reigns, the female tribal chief. Then basically Priest calls out Jay, and then they try to take out Jay, jump him obviously. Then Cody comes for the save. Then Adam Pearce says at Fastlane it's going to be Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes versus the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. So that's going to be interesting. Then we have a commercial because Jade Cargill is coming for everybody. She wants to main event WrestleMania. She wants to do it all. So we'll see how she does. I'm sure she'll do great. Then we have the Alpha Academy versus the Imperium in a good match, but in the end, Kaiser got the victory. Then we have Chelsea in the back teasing Tegan Knox that she's not championship material, so they're going to have a match later. Then we have Bronson Reed versus Cedric Alexander. I thought it was good to see him. I haven't seen him on TV for a while, but in the end Bronson Reed gets the victory. Then Drew says that Adam Pearce doesn't want to do the Miz TV. He did it last week. He doesn't want to do it. He said he just wants to go out there and talk to the people. And then Adam Pearce says to Drew, you sure you're right? You seem a bit salty. Drew says he's fine, it's just being himself. Then Gunther and Ciampa sign a contract for their match, which meant to be at Fastlane for the Intercontinental Championship. Ciampa basically gets angry, says no one will be there to help him, and he's going to beat Gunther for his family. And Gunther basically says he will never be IC champion. It's not going to happen, and them two start brawling. Then Priest gets angry because he can't fight, and then JD starts to talk and he has a go at him. And then JD is trying to say they need to divide KO, Jimmy, Sammy, and Cody. So let's see if that happens. Then we have Xavier Woods versus Ivar from the Viking Raiders in a really good match. But surprisingly, in the end, Xavier gets the win. But then they get beat down by Ivar. Then we have Seth Rollins comes out, says to Michael Cole, he's risking his health, he's risking everything. His back's hanging by a thread, but Seth's addicted to being there. He's addicted to having this duty as being the world champion, and he's going to leave it all out there in the ring. As he was saying that, the Titantron came out and Shinsuke was talking, but who comes from behind? Shinsuke comes from behind and attacks Seth, and attacks his back as well, so we'll see what happens. Then we have Tegan Knox versus Chelsea in a great match, but in the end, Tegan Knox, in fact, got the victory, so we will see what happens with her. I feel she wants to face Becky Lynch. Then we have Jay saying basically he doesn't know how he feels about being on Raw. He's not with the Tribal Chief anymore. He's not with the Bloodline, but he's cool with Cody Rhodes, and he feels him and Cody Rhodes get onto it, they'll be ready for Fastlane. So let's see what happens. Then we have Drew coming out. Basically, it says he's not helping anybody anymore. He's going to do his own thing. He's just going to be himself. He said Cody's weak for helping Jay after Jay beat him down when he was in the Bloodline. Then basically Miz comes out and starts running his mouth and annoying Drew. Drew starts getting annoyed. Then he calls out Miz for a match, and then Miz sort of attacks Drew from behind. Then it goes into a match, and then Drew beats him. But Drew leaves a bit of a dirty tactic. He exposed the turnbuckle and then rammed the Miz's head into the turnbuckle when the ref wasn't looking and got the victory. So, okay, bit of dirty tactics there. Then we had Trick in the back from NXT, basically talking about how he's the NXT North American champion, and Dom turns up and they go back and forth, so we'll see what happens in the rematch. Then we have Cody coming out saying he's ready for the Judgment Day. He's ready to team with Jey Uso, and they're ready to be the unified tag team champions. So let's see what happens. Then in the main event of the evening, it's Gunther versus Ciampa for the Intercontinental Championship. I believe this match was meant to happen at Fastlane, but Ciampa just didn't want to wait So they had it on Raw. Really good match. Go and watch. I haven't seen it. The best match on Raw for sure. But in the end, nobody's beaten the Ring General, who wins. And then after the fact, the Gunther left, and then Kaiser and Vinci were beating down Ciampa. And who makes their return? Johnny Gargano makes his return. I don't know where he was. He might have been injured, but he is now back. So that is a review of Raw. Leave a comment.